What is the most disgusting secret you're hiding right now? Don't forget to support our shitty channel. Please. We had a candy corn counting contest in like 4th or 5th grade where you guess how many are in the big jar when no one was looking. I carefully took the tape off the top thinking I was going to count them all or something and saw that they had written the total on the inside of the top, so, being a genius, I took out about 30 of them, ate the evidence, and put my guess in for the number -35. Yeah, I know, so it wouldn't be suspicious if I got it on the nose, not realizing they weren't going to recount them. The winner guessed it within 20 of the number on the bottom of the lid. So basically, I cheated, sabotaged and still lost, and I kept all that stupidity to myself for all these years. Candy corn counting contest is an extremely fun sentence to say. The fact that you ate 30 pieces of candy corn is far more disgusting than your secret. Candy corn is delicious. As a small child, I ate an old piece of gum from under a bus seat. I'd really like to exchange my mouth for a new one. It's okay, I put that gum there and had just brushed my teeth. You are just fine. One of my friends has nudes of our mutual friend's mom. Fucking hell, he doesn't know it. He video calls her at night. Wait, do you know the guy from the other comment? When I was younger, I would steal coins from my parents, and when I had enough, I would bring them to my dad and had them changed to paper bills, and he would be so proud of me for saving coins that he would buy me ice cream or sweet bread. He knew. Yes, he absolutely knew. 10 years ago I used to do the same shit. Recently, about 2 years ago, my dad told me that he knew what I was doing. We had a good laugh. I love you, Dad. I drew a massive penis on the ceiling in my art classroom, probably a meter long, and it's been there for years. I asked friends who have brothers and sisters there, and they say it's still there. It's been like 8 years now. It's now the school's heritage. I'm in a lot of debt and it's potentially going to ruin my relationship. I've been there, man. I'm almost on the other side of it now. I'll be debt free by November, when my first child is born. Look up a credit counseling service in your area. That's what I did. My quality of life has gone up so much, it's incredible. That last year, when I was suspended from work for 6 months, it was due a failed post-accident drug test. I wasn't laid off. I knew it. Yeah, Katie told Amber, then everybody found out. A majority of the time, the voice in my head / first thoughts are just really unnecessarily mean. Towards myself, but especially others. Extremely nitpicky, selfish, rude, etc. I don't understand why. Sometimes it leaks out into the real world on its really bad days, and I'm just an ass. It makes me feel pretty bad about who I am as a person sometimes, because I really just want to be a lovely person and think the best about others, and I don't feel like I'm very often because of these thoughts. I guess maybe op meant nasty equals disgusting, but it feels disgusting to me some days. Edit. I truly appreciate everyone's suggestions and information, thank you very much. Someone's mom once said, "You are not your first thoughts, you are the ones that correct them. Your first thought is what you have been conditioned to think. Your second thought defines who you are. Did you grow up with a critical or mean parent? Possibly. If you think something mean, just stop your brain and say, no, that's not fair to them, and here's why. If you say something mean, just apologize right then and say that was unacceptable. What I should have said was." Eventually the second thought will begin to take precedence over the mean one. Hope this helps. When my sister and I were little, she would lick her cat because she thought she was helping to clean him. Did you grow up in Scranton with a sister named Angela? Didn't Angela move to Scranton from Ohio? Uncle confided in me that he stopped taking the medications that are keeping him alive because he can't handle the weight of his life. Currently trying to be there for him as much as I can, but haven't told anyone because I feel like it's his choice and I'd likely want the same in his situation. He's just worn out and feels like he's done his time and has already done what he can for the people around him. Reminds me of my uncle. We each have a rare muscle condition that will probably put us in wheelchairs later in life, and found out he's been doing meth and robbing homes to fund it. I love him so much, it hurts to see him doing something that will hurt others as well as himself. Edit. To clarify, he is not currently in a wheelchair. Edit 2. I do not condone his use of thievery to fuel a meth addiction. I hope to God he isn't selling again, because he's already served 5 years for selling. Because some people have mentioned it, it's not as easy as just reporting him. I'm not exactly told when he breaks and enters. As far as I know, it's only happened once, and his parents, my grandparents, just bail him out. Sorry for the initial comment not being too clear. My younger brother used to eat the dog food because he thought it would make him better friends with the dog. We began to leave a bowl out for him next to the dog bowl. You shouldn't have let him eat that. Now his babies will be born naked. Animals. Wait, you mean the skin tentacles aren't normal? As a student with a shitty waitering job paying me almost nothing, I used to eat the food my customers didn't want after I took their plates to the kitchen. Been there, mate. It was like a second fucking payday if someone forgot about their to-go order. Unethical life pro tip: call in a to-go order shortly before closing, then take it home when never claimed. In biology class we were dissecting a pig's eyeball and my hand slipped and the eyeball fell on the floor, and me being extremely lazy I kicked it under a cabinet and it lay there for 2 years until someone finally found it. I'm just picturing some unfortunate cleaner randomly finding this fucking desiccated eyeball. I've cleaned BO labs and a desiccated eyeball isn't even very high on the list of disgusting things we find. Once body parts are dried up, they hardly smell at all. I made up a person. When I was in high school, I wanted to sound more popular, so I made up a guy friend. He had an incredibly interesting backstory. This went on 4 years, well into college. I had the same friends, so I couldn't just end the charade. The funny thing is, all of these people, my family, my best friend, even my husband, believe that they met this man. I never introduced them to anyone, but over the years, they all have different memories of seeing him. Finally, I just sort of phased him out, saying that we grew apart and lost touch. And yet, people will randomly ask me for updates on him. I just give vague answers and watch my husband smirk from across the room. My husband is the only person who knows the truth. I'm so ashamed that I will never admit it. That lie was such a dumb thing that snowballed. That I hit some kid in the back of a trampoline park with a chain I grabbed off of a fence because he kept poking me. I think your respective ages could alter my reaction to this post. Not in all my 48 years have I met a more annoying 8-year with a stick. A buddy of mine had a wife that used to be a stripper. She ended up leaving him for one of her patrons. Before she left him, she was impregnated by him, my buddy. She ended up marrying the guy she left him for, and the newish dad is basically raising his kid. I'm still friends with both of them on Facebook, since I was cool with both of them, and her son definitely looks like him. This was maybe 7 to 8 years ago. I just shut the fuck up about the whole situation. I have a somewhat similar story except no stripping, and some roles were reversed. My buddy's girlfriend cheated on him with another guy and they broke up. But she would still call him, and they'd hook up. At the same time she had began dating a different guy, different than the one she had cheated on my buddy with. A few months later, she's pregnant and freaking out. I was similar to you, in that I was friends with her, and also my buddy. I was sort of their liaison in all of this. We were young and stupid, teenagers, and making life-altering decisions. Eventually it was decided that she would go with the new guy and just pretend everything is normal. My buddy was young and immature and had many problems at the time and agreed to the tacit arrangement. The problem is the child looks nothing like the guy she eventually married and is a spitting image of my buddy. My buddy now regrets it deeply and wishes he could be a part of the kid's life, but they all agree it wouldn't be healthy for the kid. My buddy met the kid before as a friend of the lady, but I have a feeling as he gets older he might be suspicious. Life is crazy. When I was 8, my 19-year-old cousin tried to make out with me. I remember him rubbing my leg and kissing me in the kitchen whilst my mum was in the living room. I didn't understand what was really happening at the time, but I knew I didn't like it. I kept nervous giggling and pushing him away. After a couple of minutes he looked disappointed and walked away. I don't remember if he ever tried anything else. He was killed in an accident 3 years later, and I chose never to tell anybody as I didn't want to add to my aunt's grief. Edit. Oh my gosh, I was not expecting such an overwhelming response. Truthfully, I never realized how much I needed to just get it off my chest. Thank you all so much for the love and support. It really means the world.